And welcome to Nail Theory Foundations by Trieu London. So in this first series, we have covered all of these topics, and the previous video was on retail-specific legislation. If you haven't watched that, then do go back and watch it. So in today's video, we'll be going over reception duties. Quite a lot of it's common sense, so I will fly through it quickly. Again, at any time, if it's going too fast and you want to read the actual text, then do pause the video. Okay. So a reception is the client's first and also final impression of the salon, whether it's the telephone or when they visit in person. So first impression counts, so ensure the client gets the right impression. So in terms of the reception area, it should be clean and tidy. Ensure that there's adequate equipment and materials at all times. It should be storing that area should be used to store clients' records confidentially in terms of taking it, and ensure all the retail displays are clean and always show client hospitality. In terms of the design of the reception area, so if you do design a salon, the location, ideally at the front of the beauty salon, should be clean and uncluttered. Okay, but do bear in mind that some clients may seek privacy, so the window should be attractively curtained and seating may be situated away from the main window. In terms of the size, it should be large enough for wheelchair access, so that we comply with Disability Discriminations Act, and there should be adequate seating. There you go. Okay, so you can also be offering magazines at reception and refreshments and coffee or water. And also in terms of the reception area, in terms of design, the decoration. So it should be decorated tastefully. Of course, each salon would decoration depends on the theme they're running with. And there should also be well-framed certificates and professional qualifications for staff, as well as any licenses and health legislation registration certificates. Continuing with the design of the reception area, as mentioned before, it should be uncluttered. The reception desk will depend on the size of the salon, but it should have shelves, drawers, lockable cash drawer, a comfortable chair for the receptionist, of course, with adequate back support, and a computer system where they can take payments and work on bookings, stationery, notepad, and then telephone answering machine. Fax is pretty old, so we can probably ignore that. And then the record cards, as stationery mentioned before, and even possibly a display cabinet. In terms of the receptionists themselves, so we've gone through the area, they should have a smart appearance and be able to mainly is communication, so communicate effectively and professionally. Some of the duties that they might do is maintain the reception area, look after the clients on arrival and departure, schedule appointments, deal with inquiries, complaints, and assist retail sales. Some of the things a receptionist should know is the name of each staff member, salon hours, and general details about the salon in terms of email and phone numbers, the range of services or products offered, as well as their costs, any booking treatment restrictions, and who to refer different types of inquiries to. Furthermore, They should know any discounts or special offers that are available, benefits of some of the treatments, and time taken for each treatment in case someone wants to book straight after another. In terms of the quality, so the clients actually do need to feel valued, and because it's the first and last impression, the receptionist should have the following qualities. They should be positively, act positively and confidently, speak clearly, be friendly and smile, maintain eye contact, be good at listening, and give each client the attention and respect they deserve. In a situation, you'll always have unsatisfied customers. It happens even to the best of us. So the reception is usually the first port of contact with the client, and there are important things they need to make sure um, they do, because this situation can be very damaging. So the first thing is never to become awkward or angry yourself. Always remain polite, courteous, and diplomatic. So some of the things you must do is listen to the client as they describe their problems, don't make any excuses, and don't interrupt. It's quite a theme when you listen to someone. Just do not interrupt and wait for them to finish and have their say. Just highlight that. Always ask questions and summarize the concern of the client back to them. It's useful just to repeat back what they have said. So, for example, you can say, "So, Susan, just to make sure I've got this right, you want X, Y, and Z, and you're not happy with Z, A, B, C." If possible, there and then, agree on course of action. Check the client has also agreed. So, agree on the course of action and check the client has actually also agreed. And you should always, if when need be, consult the Salon supervisor. For example, for a refund, partial refund, or another booking that's complimentary. If it is a formal complaint, then you should log all of this information. So the date, the time, the client's name, the nature of the complaint, and also action agreed. The receptionist should also attend to clients' inquiries. So give them the correct attention all the time, listen attentively. If it's to record a message, who is it for, who it's from, date and time, details of the message, and your name as the person taking the information. And you should always demonstrate good customer service at all time, and remember to protect the client and the information they provide by being confidential. The receptionist does deal with appointments, so they should make the correct entries into the computer. So it does require accuracy and attention to detail, and also problem solving, since sometimes there are issues where some bookings need to be reallocated. So these are appointments usually done online. Then bookings is when a client may call. You should always allow adequate time to carry out the service. So for example, if you're trying to book in a pedicure with nail technician 1, but it takes 60 minutes and she only has 50 minutes, then it's not adequate enough. Usually booking pages, depending on what system you use, but they're split into hours and can further divide into 15-minute intervals, so you can move them around like so. Always check the booking appointments ahead as a receptionist, because you can always identify a potential problem and then put in a strategy in place to rectify it. So the main thing is also when you're booking them, you want to ensure that there's sufficient time so the therapist isn't running late, but not allowing too much time, because the therapist's time will be lost and there will be loss of earning. Just other things the receptionist needs to be aware of is just abbreviations. If something did not turn up, DNS or did not show, you should need to be aware of that. Okay, so appointment cards can be issued or emails. Nowadays, a lot of booking systems have emails which sends reminders, but if you are working manually, you can give your client an appointment card. So as I mentioned before, so we'll start off when a client arrives. You can mark her tip for their name, book them off on the system, or if they cancel, then indicate that on the system. Wherever it's in your book, then it'd be large C. Again, I did mention abbreviations, something to be aware of. It all depends on the salon you work with and their system. Now, as a receptionist, you have difficult clients, but you also have problems in terms of operations and with appointments. So there is unexpected situations that you need to cope with. For example, clients arriving late for appointments. You can imagine a busy salon booked back to back with a single nail tech, and a client arriving late, then the next client arriving late, and this could lead delays throughout the day. There's situations where there's double bookings. Technology can sometimes fault us. There's also arrival unscheduled clients, so walk-ins quite often in nail salons and beauty salons. And there's situations where the staff are absent, so a team member might feel sick and be unable to make it. So as a receptionist, you need to manage that. Now, the key thing is, no matter what problem, and it's very important, is effective teamwork can usually overcome any of these situations. And in fact, any problem in the salon or in a workspace. So you should inform your supervisor, colleague of the problem, and depending on your experience, you can take care of the situation. Always make sure you aim to accommodate the clients. Don't disadvantage the service. Say, for example, there's a delay, try not to cut down on the service or the quality of the service. Always keep the client informed of what action has been taken and state how long the delay is. Everyone hates that when you're waiting around and no one says how long it will be. For example, if you're on the underground, there's delays. We'll always love to know if it's a 5-minute day, 10-minute day. So this receptionist could possibly deal with skin sensitivity test if it can be either carried out by a receptionist or junior therapist, depending on how complicated the skin test is, and training should be provided by the nail salon. Of course, the receptionist will always take phone calls, so there are a few good phone techniques that I'll be covering. So firstly, answer quickly. On average, a person may be willing to wait up to 9 rings. Try to respond within 6 rings. Introduce yourself and build rapport. We'll go into an example of what a good answer is to a phone call. Be prepared to have the information ready. Be welcoming and attentive, so speak clearly without mumbling and at the right speed. And also pronounce your words clearly and vary your tone. So this is all important because this caller might be ringing around salons, and depending on your call, they may book through. Here's some more ideas on good telephone techniques. So whilst the client cannot actually see your face, it's just generally known if you smile, then you're more likely to be warm in response. Alter your pitch of your voice as you speak and create interest. And a good example of answering a phone call. So, good morning, Visage Beauty Salon, Susan speaking, how may I help you? So that's worth noting down. Always listen attentively. Of course, you're a receptionist, so you need to know what the client's needs are. Evaluate the information given. Use the client's name. So if they do tell you their name, don't just say, sorry, what was it? Try remember it, and they will feel that it's personalized. So in your mind, summarize the main points and repeat it back to them. And if it's an inquiry you can't deal with yourself, then take the relevant information or contact the relevant person. At the end of the phone call, repeat the main points. So whether if they've booked through, then you can just summarize the payment, the total time they booked in, and close pleasantly. So thank you for calling Mrs. Smith or Jane, and have a lovely evening. Okay, so for business calls, you just want to take down general information from that party. You can always ask them to send in an email. Otherwise, take down their name, the reason why they're calling, and contact details. Transferring calls depends on how big the business is, but before you always transfer, always explain to the caller what you're doing and thank them for waiting. So a lot of times as a receptionist, you'll get clients booking, but also third-party businesses wanted to give messages. So you should have a memo pad or memorandum, or you can ask them to email in. You need to ask them who's the message for, who's it from, date and time of the message, accurate details, telephone number, address, email address of the caller, and details of who took the call. Always repeat the details back to the caller that you have taken. Okay. So we're on the last page of receptionist duties. Make an appointment for a salon service. Acknowledge the client immediately. So it's general knowledge, so you don't really need to note this down, but just be aware of. Be knowledgeable in your answer. Answer any inquiry honestly and effectively. Always refer an inquiry you can't deal with yourself to the relevant person. Record the client's name and allow sufficient time for any bookings, confirm all the appointments. Okay, and just make sure the client is informed if there's any specific treatment information, and just be aware that client information can only be accessed by those who are authorized to. So that's it for a receptionist and its duties. In the next video, we'll be going over how to be effective at work. So thank you for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. Again, the workbook is available on the link below for download if you want to follow me along with these videos.